I have one, Bill, for you and for court. How do you balance fair trade, protecting American workers, and tariffs?
So, let me go right to my, trade is a complicated issue. By and large, we all learned in economics that if every country does what it's best at, the whole world will benefit if there were efficiencies in the marketplace, which there aren't always. But anytime you have a trade agreement, there's going to be winners and losers. So if we have a good trade agreement, it means some of our people are going to be put out of work. We need to commit to making them whole with severance, retraining, new job opportunities. And I was on this issue, I won't say before some of my opponents were born, but it was a long time ago. Did I say that out loud? The snail darter, you remember the snail darter? I don't even know what a snail darter is, I think it's a fish. But they wanted to close some lumber areas because that was the sole remaining habitat for the snail darters. And I said back then, who's going to make the lumberjacks, the forest people who are being put out of work, whole because you're closing their livelihood to save the snail darters? And God loves snail darters, but He loves lumber people also. So if you're not going to pay to make them whole, then the snail darters could just let the doorknob hit them in the butt on the way out. So we need money for both.
Any other questions?
Do you believe we should require civics in the high schools for the state?
Well, I hope we're already teaching about government. I was in the Webster Parade, and a lot of 11-year-olds were supporting me. So, like Bobby Kennedy, I intend to lower the voting age to 11. And learning about issues is good. It tends to get political sometimes, and then parents complain, but you can do it in a nonpartisan way. I think, as we've shown after some of the school shootings, young people are getting political on their own, and we hope it's a turning point for common sense on guns.
Bill, talk a little bit about the St. Louis School Board and its near-term future vis-a-vis the appointed board.
Sure. So I served 8 years on the St. Louis School Board. Then during the interregnum with the slave people, I went off, and then after 2010, I went back on. So in my end of my fourth term, and you think I whine about third grade reading scores here, you should see what I do on the board. And so we're about to get governance back in the next year or two. I'm in favor of an elected board, not an appointed one. The Post-Dispatch has been lying about what happened for the full 10 years. The SAB has been there, and I was there when they took over. Scores are flat or slightly lower since the SAB took over. I think we would have done better under an elected board. I'll take my chances. Mussolini got the trains to run on time, but nobody's advocating for fascism lately. So early childhood reading, there's three pieces. Smaller class size, 15 or 16 is ideal. We have 17 or 18 through the second grade. In pre-K which ones are behind, because on average, children from lower income homes come to school with 1/10 the vocabulary of middle class children. So we owe it to them a fair life, so that's to catch up. So you need regular testing to see which ones are behind and which ones you need to intervene with. And the third piece is the one I'm going to have to do from Washington. You need a qualified adult, a second qualified adult in every pre-K through third grade classroom. They don't have to be a certified teacher, they can be a certified teacher assistant. And it's for those falling behind, it's for discipline issues, and as our wonderful superintendent, Dr. Adams, says, it changes the culture of the classroom. So we have a pilot program now for that because I asked for it this past year. Because all the studies show it works, but people tell me unless you pilot it, you'll never be able to go for a tax increase to pay for it, $12 million a year. So local school districts don't have it, the state doesn't have it. You're going to have federal money, but 40% of our children are reading at grade level in third grade, rural, urban, and everybody in between. This country's going nowhere. That's where your crime comes from when they don't have options. That's where your educated workforce will come from if you do educate them. And I want to see this Republican stand between me and money for teaching our children to read, it's not gonna be pretty for them. Thanks for the question. Thanks for inviting me.